Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So in today's video we are going to be talking about Riqui Puig and the contract renewal that he has just had with FC Barcelona, and then later in this video we are going to be talking about just what could Barcelona's midfield look like in next season, because we know and it is quite clear that Joan Laporta and Ramon Planes and Mateo Alemany, they do want to restart this Barcelona team from the bottom to the top and from the top to the bottom. And what we're going to do in this video is just specifically talk about the midfield, because if there was one section within the starting 11 where they greatly do need a restart, it is within the midfield. But first, we are going to be talking about Riqui Puig, and it says here, according to Fabrizio Romano, Barcelona has triggered the option to renew Riqui Puig's contract until 2023. He wants to stay at the Catalan club and plans to talk to Joan Laporta about his situation once the manager situation is sorted out. And just looking at this, right, this is one of the best news we have heard in a very long time, because if we were to talk about Riqui Puig in this current season, has he been world class where he is considered as the top 3 best midfielders in the world? No, he's not in that category yet, but he has been playing at the level that he should be playing at. And looking at the minutes that he has gotten in this season, it is not doing justice. But within those 10 to 15 minutes that he has been playing at the very most under Ronald Koeman within this current season, he has always proved himself that he is quality, that he can provide value. The way that Riqui Puig makes Barcelona that much more direct when it is needed during a game, Riqui Puig does very well at doing so. Those are the players that Barcelona greatly do need. It is a player like Riqui Puig, and it is great to hear that he is going to be playing and staying with Barcelona until 2023. This is a player that does give what is required for this club, and I do think that once we do go into the next season, seeing the revolution that is going to be taking place, Riqui Puig is going to be seeing more minutes than we have ever seen before. And so Puig is going to be speaking with Joan Laporta. I do assume that they are going to be talking about what is my role going to be in the next season. And then as for the manager, who is going to be that manager, and is he going to be adding more emphasis towards La Masia players? And that is what's going to lead us towards our next topic, because many strongly do believe that the academy is going to be having more importance within the starting 11. So what we are going to do is talk about what type of midfield could we see when it comes to who is going to be in the starting 11 and what are going to be the options overall within the squad list for the midfield for the 2021-2022 season. And so many are going to be asking, what makes this summer so different from the past 3 to 4 summers? Why should we believe that we are going to be seeing a restart, a revolution? It is because we are now in a situation where Barcelona have a brand new board, a brand new set of people, where they are going to be looking at the squad list and saying, this is not okay. What we need to do here is restart the whole thing. And so many Barcelona fans should be very optimistic on how Barcelona is going to be adding more importance towards La Masia. So starting with the options that we are going to be having, and number 1 is going to be Riqui Puig. Riqui Puig, we have already talked about this player already. He's a player that can control the tempo, and to be more specific, he is a player that knows how to slow and up the tempo when Barcelona greatly do need it. He is also a player that can press very well and provide the necessary passes in order for Barcelona to be given those goal scoring opportunities. Moving on to player number 2, and that is going to be NICO Gonzalez. NICO Gonzalez is going to be another option that Barcelona will be having. This type of player here, he is very press resistant, and I do think that that is very important when it comes to Barcelona's game, is that they do need a player that does not get bothered by the way the opposition does press. NICO Gonzalez does very well under pressure. He is also a very great passer, and he is also a central defensive midfielder that does read the opposition's passing lanes very well, so he can cut off the attack when it is needed. It has been official that NICO Gonzalez has renewed with FC Barcelona under Joan Laporta, and that Barcelona do see NICO Gonzalez as a player that they will be incorporating into the next season and get him the most amount of minutes. Moving on to player number 3, and that is going to be Frenkie de Jong. Frenkie de Jong obviously is going to be another option this season that we have seen under Ronald Koeman. Frenkie de Jong has been playing very well, and he has had his best season yet, which was this season. I do think that not only was this his best season, but he has showed that he is a player that can be very versatile. He has played as a center back, he has played as an interior midfielder, and he has played as a defensive midfielder. And the way that he has shown that he can arrive on the box, someone who is very well aware on when to make those runs, when he knows that that player is going to be looking for a pass inside the box, Frenkie de Jong's timing within those runs and how he receives the ball in those open spaces, it is world class. Not many players can do that, and Frenkie de Jong does that very, very well. And when it comes to Frenkie de Jong playing as a central defensive midfielder, we know what he can do. We know that once he does receive the ball in our defensive defensive half, it is almost impossible for the opposition to take the ball away from Frenkie de Jong. And again, that is another trait that is going to be extremely important in Barcelona's game next season. Moving on to player number 4, and that is going to be PEDRI. PEDRI in this season was actually his first season, and it was a great season. The fact that he was playing as a starter within his first season with FC Barcelona at the age of 17, 18 years old, and to play with such maturity within his game, PEDRI is a player for the future. PEDRI is a player that is here to stay. And yes, there were times where PEDRI did not look the most attack focused, which is something that many did demand from this player, but every time he did attack and every time he was involved in a build-up play with Messi or Frenkie de Jong or Antoine Griezmann or Dembélé, he also does that very well. He does like to use his strengths where it could benefit Barcelona the most. And we have to remember that this player, who is PEDRI, he is the player that did sit down Felipe Coutinho. There was a point in the season where Coutinho was on the bench only because PEDRI was playing that much better. And if you guys are asking, why was that the case? Why was PEDRI so good to the point where Coutinho, who was worth 160 million euros, that much better? And here's the thing, PEDRI's passing range and his vision, it is top notch. And if you were to add the attribute of having great defensive contributions within one player, it is almost non-negotiable to sit down a player with that type of quality. To bring those two type of qualities within one player, it is almost impossible to sit that player down. And PEDRI was showing that in this season. And many are going to be asking, what do you mean? When it comes to a Barcelona midfielder, why does the defensive contributions of that player even matter in Barcelona's game? We want to see a player like PEDRI attack all the time. Well, here's the thing. This is going to be for another whole separate video, but Ronald Koeman has been a coach where he has showed that sometimes he does want his team to play very defensive. We have seen that against Atletico Madrid. We have seen that against PSG. And because Ronald Koeman was demanding this Barcelona starting 11 to play defensive, to sit in a 4-4-2 and defend your way all the way until the 90 minutes, PEDRI was forced to defend, and Ronald Koeman did not demand Barcelona to dominate the game, which ultimately does mean that you have to defend. And PEDRI, when given those defensive duties, he was doing very well at doing so. And I do assume that once we go into the next season, where there is a big possibility that we are going to be having a different coach and we are going to be reinstilling the style of Barcelona that Barcelona should be playing, PEDRI is going to be showing that quality that many of us do want to see. Moving on to player number 5, and that is going to be ILAIX MORIBA. MORIBA in this season, he was introduced in January 2021. MORIBA has shown to be that he can be a Vidal type of player, someone who likes to be box to box. He is also very physical, and when Messi does demand a player to contribute in a 1-2 in order for Messi to score a goal, MORIBA is always there to do so, and he is always willing to help. His aerial presence is great, and when you combine all of these attributes in one player, he is a very unique player. And we can also say that MORIBA is a hybrid of Vidal and Pogba. And while we do know that MORIBA still has a lot to give and prove himself that he is one of the best players in Barcelona, many do assume that he will be getting to that level. And then moving on towards the last option, which is going to be player number 6, and that is going to be Alex Collado. Now, here's the thing about Alex Collado, because I have noticed that there is a conversation going on in the media, and many are assuming that Alex Collado is a right winger, which he is. He is more than capable to play as a right winger. But what we have seen in this season is that he does occupy the space and he does take the position of a interior midfielder. That is what Alex Collado is. He is a interior midfielder, which is the exact same position of Riqui Puig or PEDRI. And I do think that this is what makes him so unique, is the fact that he can play as a right winger and he can also play as an interior midfielder. But when Alex Collado does play as an interior midfielder, he is a very great one. And I think that when we go into the next season, the front three is going to be very congested. Next season, we are going to be having Agüero, Messi, Dembélé, Ansu Fati, and a possibility of a player named Trincao staying within the squad list. And then there's also that possibility that Memphis Depay could be coming to Barcelona. And if Alex Collado does want to see a great amount of minutes in the next season, the best position for him should be as an interior midfielder. Because with Alex Collado playing as an interior midfielder, his creativity, his ball control, and his ability to find those passing lanes is top notch. And to be very honest, when we look at Alex Collado and how he has been playing with Barcelona B, we can safely say that he is very similar to the style of play that Lionel Messi does possess. Now, I'm not saying that Alex Collado is going to be reaching that level, but there is some similarities in the style of play, which is very interesting. You can see that Alex Collado has gotten his confidence and his style of play through watching Lionel Messi. And if he can translate this and what he has been bringing to Barcelona B into the first team, Alex Collado will be one hell of a player. And he is another player that did renew his contract with Barcelona. So he will be another another player that is going to be here to stay. If we do have Frenkie de Jong as a central defensive midfielder, PEDRI as a interior midfielder, and Riqui Puig as another interior midfielder, Barcelona will be taking their first steps to reinstilling that style of play. And then as for the players behind them, which is also considered as option B, if Frenkie de Jong does not play and he's getting rest, we should assume that we could be seeing NICO Gonzalez in that position. As for the left interior midfielder, which is PEDRI, we should assume that ILAIX COLLADO could be taking that spot. And then moving on towards Riqui Puig's position, we could also be seeing MORIBA behind Riqui Puig and have MORIBA compete for a position with this player. It would be a great thing to have within the football club FC Barcelona. But those are going to be the 6 players that we should see within the squad list next season. Again, it is going to be Frenkie de Jong, NICO Gonzalez, PEDRI, ILAIX COLLADO, Riqui Puig, and MORIBA. For those of you guys who are wondering, what about Sergio Busquets? I think that Sergio Busquets is still going to be there. I have no idea whether he's going to be starting in the starting 11, but everything does indicate that Sergio Busquets is going to be taking a step down and that we should be seeing a great amount of talent emerging into the squad list and within the starting 11. But that's going to be it for today's Barcelona Daily News. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.